Hey there guys, it's Attack on Samurai, and welcome to Week 1, Season 3 of the OBA, and for our first Week 1 opponent, we will be battling the Photon Force, coached by Aaron Cheim from Season 1 and Season 2. So let's talk about Aaron's draft for this season. So for this season, he kind of got screwed over at the draft. He had been in and out of the draft, so he hasn't really been. And Mac, if he wants to interrupt me, it's nice. But yeah, he had been in and out of the draft, so he didn't get all of his picks. All the picks that he had wanted. But regardless, this is what he got. So for his draft, he picked Teambuilder, Mega Aggron, like always. He picked that Season 1 and not Season 2. That got snatched by Ryan from Season 2. Meanwhile, Ryan coached the Liverpool Lions, who is also in the league as well. In this season as well. So let's go back. Teambuilder, Mega Aggron, Slowbro, Ferrothorn. Sorry if you heard that, I cracked my knuckles. Togekiss, Porygon Z, Cinccino, Clowitzer, Exploud, Torterra, Regirock, and Charizard. So a lot of his draft shares very common weaknesses, like Mega Aggron, Ferrothorn, and Torterra. All three of them being weak to fire, and he doesn't really have much fire coverage outside of Slowbro and Clowitzer, and Regirock. But still, he does have some power too. Like even though he has like mons that have the same weaknesses, he still has some power, like Teambuilder, and Choice Specs Exploud with its Boom Burst. Also, Clowitzer can be kind of a threat too with that Mega Launcher, and so can Cinccino with its fast speed and also its access to a Skill Link. Porygon Z can be kind of an issue too with adaptability, Tri-Attack. Yeah, and also Togekiss can be kind of annoying too, with its Serene Grace, air slash flinching with Thunder Wave and stuff, and then also Ferrothorn too, just being a bulky thing. But still, regardless, a lot of his team shares the same weakness. So yeah, these are the mons I brought for this week. So I'm bringing Outage. For the first week, so I'm bringing Outage, the Mega Manectric, going Timid, max special attack, max speed, with foreign special defense, Protect, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and Flamethrower. So when I first looked at his draft, I realized that he doesn't really have much of a answer to Manectric outside of Torterra. So I'm pretty much gonna try and take advantage of that. So when I'm running Protect just to scout what his mons could do. Thunderbolt, strong stat move, and it's gonna hit really hard on a lot of his draft. Volt Switch for getting switches. Also gives some decent chip damage on stuff, and Flamethrower just rocks Mega Aggron, Ferrothorn, and Torterra. Also, I have to worry about Torterra a little bit because most Torterras are known. Well, actually, Aaron has been known because he always drafts Torterra. He's drafted Torterra the past two seasons already. But usually when he runs his Torterra, he usually runs it with a weakness policy. So I have to be kind of aware of that when I'm running Flamethrower. But still, Flamethrower is just gonna rock Ferrothorn and Mega Aggron. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Mega Manectric. Just a standard one, no HP Ice. So yeah, and next I chose Ken the Blaziken. So with the combination of Mega Manectric, Blaziken also destroys his team. There's really not much of an answer he has to it outside of Slowbro and I guess technically Charizard, and I guess also Togekiss. So I'm running a mixed set with it. Gonna run Overheat, Superpower, Thunder Punch, and Knockoff. Running a Choice Scarf, I think I already said that. So Overheat is good because one is a special attack, which does a lot to Mega Aggron. 2, it also hits, of course, Ferrothorn and Torterra. So it's a strong special attacking fire type move. Superpower, it's a strong stat move. Also with that investment attack, it's gonna hit things really hard. He doesn't really have much of an answer to fighting types either, outside of, again, Slowbro, Togekiss, and Charizard. So things are gonna get rocked hard by it, like Porygon Z, Cinccino, and Exploud. And I guess also Regirock, but Regirock is a physically defensive mon, so it can take physical hits very well. Thunder Punch, kind of like another check to Slowbro, Togekiss, and Charizard, and a knockoff for getting rid of items. So yeah, pretty much it. Blaziken and Mega Manectric are going to be the main mons on my team that are going to do a lot of damage to this draft. Again, he doesn't really have much of an answer to them. So yeah, and next I have Clinton, the Braviary. So decided to bring Clinton because well, one, it actually does pretty good against this draft too. Doesn't really have much of an answer to it. He actually doesn't have an electric type, now that I just realized that. So he really doesn't have much of an answer to Braviary, I guess, besides Regirock. So I decided to run this thing specially defensive, because, well, I wanted to try it out, I guess. Probably not the best answer, but I felt like it was a decent, it's a decent wall, especially with that HP investment. It can definitely take hits pretty well. So I decided to run it 140 in HP, 16 in attack, max special defense, and 100 in speed. So 100 in speed is so that way Braviary can actually outspeed Clowitzer. 16 in attack, because even with that minimum amount of investment in attack, it can still OHKO Kinkeldor at full. It also still does decent damage to the rest of this draft as well. Porygon Z also doesn't really take a Brave Bird that well either. Yeah, so the moveset: Defog, Brave Bird, Roost, and Bulk Up. Just Bulk Up just to get Braviary's attack and defense pretty beefed up. Brave Bird, again, strong Brave Bird move, strong flying type move that he really doesn't have much of an answer to. And Defog to get rid of hazards that actually 4 of his mons can set up. Mega Aggron can set up, Ferrothorn can set up, Torterra and Regirock can set up. So I want to try and get rid of their hazards. And Roost to get my HP up. So that's pretty much it for Braviary. And also running the lefties as well to help with that. So yeah, hold up, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Okay, never mind. I think it just went away. So next is Suicune. So Suicune decided to run this thing. Gonna be a mixed wall. So 252 in HP, 126 in defense, 4 in special attack, and 126 in special defense. So this thing, again, just a mixed wall that can take hits pretty well. So the moveset: Extrasensory, Calm Mind, Scald, and Protect. Extrasensory is mainly going to be for catching Kinkeldor on switch-ins, because Kinkeldor usually likes to it could potentially set up with Kinkeldor, so I want to try and force that thing out. So that's why I'm running the Extrasensory. Running Calm Mind because once Suicune gets those Calm Minds up, it can just do a lot of damage. It can also take hits pretty well from his special attackers. Also, another thing, most of this draft is special attackers anyway, so having Calm Mind is definitely the best plan for me. And Skull, basically to burn down his burn down some of his threats. Don't really want to try and burn Kinkeldor because it has guts, and I don't really want that. I was trying to burn like his physical attackers like Cinccino or Regirock or Torterra even. That would be really great. So yeah, and Protect is just for scouting out what his mons can do. So yeah, and also running the Calm Nature too. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Suicune. And now we're gonna move on to Harmony, the Whimsicott. So Harmony, just gonna run it as a physically defensive wall for his physical mons, like of course Teambuilder and Cinccino, and I guess Regirock and Torterra. Since it does pretty decent against them too. So gonna run Taunt, Giga Drain, Moonblast, and Hurricane. Taunt mainly to force Mega Aggron, mainly to force his hazard users from setting up hazards or trying to get set up, like Torterra trying to set up a Rock Polish, or I think Cinccino gets Sword Stance or something like that, but just to stop any of his mobs from trying to set up on me. Giga Drain does good damage to his mons as well. Actually before, when I was because I actually tested this team against Brad Mew and Sneaky Solgor. Actually before I had Leech Seed on I had Leech Seed in replace of Giga Drain. I wanted to run Leech Seed first because, well, I thought, most of these mons are going to try and stay in on Whimsicott instead of switching out. So, but then Sneaky Solgor told me that Giga Drain's better because I get more, because one, I get more health back, two, it does decent damage, and it's good on Twitch-ins too, because really he does have some answers to Whimsicott, but really Giga Drain's still going to do a decent amount to them anyway. Moonblast, stab move, does a lot to Teambuilder, and also it's good for his special attackers too, since it has a chance of lowering special attack. And gonna run Hurricane also because that does a lot to Teambuilder, does neutral damage to Ferrothorn, and does a good amount to Torterra as well. So definitely good move to have. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Whimsicott, and now we're gonna move on to the last mon, and it's gonna be Pimp Knight, the Dragonite. So Dragonite's a bit weird. So again, when I was battling against Brad Mew and Sneaky Solgor testing my team. So actually, let's talk about my first battle with Sneaky Solgor. So when I was battling him, testing this team, instead of Dragon Claw, I actually had Outrage. I really wanted to try and make a set with this thing. Wanted to try a Safeguard Weakness Policy set. So that way, one, Dragonite won't have to be burned or have to take paralysis damage. Won't have to be paralyzed or toxic. Granted, I probably could have run Lum instead, but that would just be a waste of Weakness Policy. Because what Weakness Policy does is that every time Dragonite not every time, but when a mon uses a super effective move on another mon, then with Weakness Policy, its attack, meaning that when it gets hit with the move, its Weakness Policy activates, and its attack and special attack gets boosted by 2. So definitely a really good item that I wanted to try out with Dragonite. But going back to when I had Outrage on a Dragonite before Dragon Claw, when I actually set up a Safeguard, and then went Outrage, I landed the Outrage, of course, and it did, and I think it actually took out one of his mons. He was actually using the same draft as Aaron's too, when he was battling me. So I took out one of his mons. I think it was actually Exploud. When I took out that Exploud, and I think I did damage on something else too. I think it was a Slowbro. Dragonite actually got confused. So actually I had learned that apparently Safeguard doesn't block confusion on Outrage. On Dragonite's own confusion. So personally, I find that really dumb, and I feel like they probably should change that. But at the same time, maybe they probably shouldn't, because if they did, then Dragonite would be extremely broken with that kind of set. But anyways, Fire Punch, gonna be useful for his Ferrothorn and Torterra, and Extreme Speed for priority. And of course, Dragon Claw just does a lot of damage to his team, and his only resistance or immunity to Dragonite is Togekiss and I guess Ferrothorn. So really doesn't have too many great answers to it. But yeah, So basically max HP, max attack, and special and 4 in special defense to take those special hits. So so the recording had a cutoff earlier. So I was talking about Dragon Knight before and talking about its safeguard stuff. So let's talk about who he could potentially bring. So actually, when I was battling Brad and Mew and Sneaky, their teams, now that I actually remember, Sneaky's team that he had used against me, again using Aaron's draft, he had Porygon Z, Exploud, Cinccino, Klawitzer, I think he had Torterra, and Slowbro. Yeah, he had Slowbro as well. And Brad's team, which was actually more practical. He had Conkeldurr, Mega Aggron, Slowbro, Torterra. I think it was Torterra. No, I don't think it was Torterra. I think he had. I know it was Conkeldurr, Aggron, Slowbro. Oh yeah, he had Exploud. Because I remember that battle. That battle was crazy. Exploud. I don't think he brought Porygon Z. I don't think he brought Regirock. I think he brought Ferrothorn. No, it was Torterra. It was Torterra, and I think he did bring Cinccino, now that I remember. Yeah, he did. It was no, that was Sneaky's. He brought Cinccino. That was Choice Scarf, but I think he still brought Cinccino. So just based off of those two, like the difference between those two, I'm pretty sure that Torterra and Exploud are definite, because Torterra is a check to Mega Manectric. That's his only check to it. Again, Ferrothorn can't check it because Mega Manectric has access to fire type moves. So yeah, he can't really do anything with that against Mega Manectric. So he's definitely gonna bring Torterra just for that. So that's one. He's probably gonna bring Exploud again, just based off of those two that I mentioned earlier, because Exploud just does so much damage with that choice specs. It's definitely a threat. Also, Exploud does have access to a lot of moves like Fire Blast, Ice Punch. Actually, does get Ice Punch, Ice Beam. I know it doesn't get an electric type move though, so he can't hit Suicune. I think it also gets Focus Blast too. It gets a whole bunch of stuff, so he can definitely play around with that. I think it also gets Surf too, interestingly enough. So yeah, Exploud definitely has options, a lot of options, so he can bring that. So Exploud, Torterra. He's probably gonna bring Slowbro because that thing is bulky and has Regenerator. So he has that option. He's probably gonna bring a Regirock because it's pretty fat, pretty physically defensive. Has pretty good physical attack at 100, so he has that option. He could actually Regirock has the option too of taking Torterra's place and being the weakness policy user. I think it also gets Rock Polish too, so it has that option. He could switch up Regirock for Torterra and bring Ferrothorn. So yeah, that's an option. That's definitely an option you can take. So Exploud, Torterra, or Regirock, Slowbro. So yeah, Regirock, Torterra or Ferrothorn, Exploud, Slowbro. Probably gonna bring Conkeldurr because he needs a physical attacker, so he's most likely gonna bring that. And he also could potentially, again, he has that option. He has the option of bringing Mega Aggron if he wants, because that's kind of the answer to my physical attackers. So he definitely has that option of bringing it. also because Mega Aggron is just so physically defensive with its filter ability and stuff, and its access to stealth rocks too. So again, he has that option. So yeah, so let's do it again. So Torterra or Ferrothorn, Exploud, Slowbro, Regirock, Mega Aggron, and King Keldor. Yep, that's my final thought. I'm pretty certain that is what he's gonna bring. So yeah, so leave a like, comment if you like Team Builder and stuff. Let me know what you guys thought about it. And yeah, so we're gonna be having our battle pretty soon, in actually about 5 minutes. So yeah, I'll record it and put it up tomorrow, so you guys can see the results of that battle. So yeah, so take care and have a nice day or night wherever you live. So yeah.